Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants, and welcome to Friday. I'd like to start you guys off with one of my favorite quotes from Gandhi, and that is, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." We work in an industry of person-centered care, in an environment of person-centered care, and certified nursing assistants are people too. I don't know where we got this idea that we have to be these emotionless robots that go in and go through a routine and get out. One of the things that is unavoidable about our profession is post-mortem care. We get attached to these residents and we get attached to our patients, those of you that are working in home health and assisted living. A lot of places don't refer to residents as residents anymore. It's patients or customers. But the thing about it is you can care for the same person day in and day out for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. This month marks my 15th year as being a CNA. And one of the things that I hear CNAs say to each other when they're asking for support of their favorite resident dying and having to clean them up and get them for their last viewing for their family members is it gets easier as you go on. No, it doesn't. Like I said, this is my 15th year. I'm going into my 15th year of being a CNA, and it doesn't get any easier. But there are some tricks that I use personally that might help you out when you're giving postmortem care. We're going to go into those just a little bit right after this break.
I promise you, in a NACA facility, residents get better care because they're being cared for by a higher educated, and I'm not talking college, I'm talking a person that has industry education. This makes them the best at the bedside, and we've proven it time and time again.
NACA takes care of our CNAs, the most important force within any long-term care community.
What a pleasure it has been and will continue to be to have the partnership that we have in Arizona, and I would really encourage other states to do the same.
Any facility out there that may be watching this that would like to go through the NACA process of transformation, you get a hold of NACA and we'll be there to serve with excellence every day, all day, anytime you need us.
For more information, visit us online at nacacna.org or call 417-623-6049. Tune in to CNA TV every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time for long-term care news with Dane Henning.
Welcome back to Katie in the Morning. Today we're talking about postmortem care. This can be one of the most scary tasks that a CNA has to be involved with in long-term care, especially those new CNAs, the younger ones that are, 17, 18 years old, have never encountered death. You may have CNAs that come in to work with you who have never even been to a funeral. They've never had any of their family members die. They still have their great-grandparents and grandparents and parents, brothers and sisters. So when we're telling them in their third, fourth day of training that they have to go in and clean up this body, essentially, it can be a very, very, very scary thing. As a certified preceptor, I have a tendency to offer them different options when it comes to that. I've had several trainees underneath me when I've had to do postmortem care. Well, I'll tell them before we go into the room. You can stand there and watch. You don't have to go in this room if you don't want to. But if you want to, you can either go in and watch me do it. You can help me do it. Or if you feel comfortable, you can do it yourself and I'll stand by. That way I can kind of be a spotter and step in if you need me to step in. One of my tricks when it comes to postmortem care is I imagine that they're still with us, that they're still breathing. As you're going through that care, kind of rolling them over, getting a new gown on them, changing the sheets, putting lotion on them. I walk them through it and talk to them as if I would a patient or a resident that was still alive. We'll say John, for instance. I'll say, "Hey, John, I'm going to roll you towards me. You're doing a good job. Does that feel like?" I'll ask them questions, even though I know that they're not answering me, but that just kind of helps comfort me as we're going through the process and kind of distracts me from them not being there at all. That I've heard several of my trainees tell me, or orientees tell me that has helped them as well. So that might be a trick that you could use as you're doing your next person in postmortem care. Another thing is what I think about is once that person is gone, they're no longer in that room. They're no longer with us. This is just a body. So what I'm doing at this point isn't for their comfort. It isn't necessarily for them, but for the family members that are coming in to view them or sign papers or say their goodbyes or that sort of thing. This is really activity that is focused on them. This is the last image that they're going to have of their mom or dad. So I really try to make them look their best, make them look peaceful, like they're resting, everything cleared out of the room, out of the way, so that they have that direct path and no distractions in the room. You'll see several facilities that do like a bedside service, especially in like the faith-based homes. Well, they'll invite CNAs into the room or anybody who wants to come in the room that knew that resident and share good memories while the family is standing there. I think that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Which brings me to my next topic. Um, there's there's a way that CNAs can engage with others to help support them. If you're a CNA working on another hallway and you're seeing a CNA that is assigned to that resident who is in the hallway or in the break room or stepped off in a closet that's having a hard time, stop and comfort them. As CNAs, it's okay to cry. You know, we're emotional people just like anybody else, and we get attached to these residents. And I can tell you, you may have to do multiple post. I can't even think of the word now. I'm starting to get so emotional. But you may have to clean several people up within a short time period. I can tell you from personal experience. We had a flu epidemic come through one of the facilities that I was working at, and I had 3 different people pass away on me in one shift. 2 of which I was very, very close to, and I was literally crying, bawling the entire shift because it just seemed to kind of snowball, and it just happened one thing right after another. And anybody that's doing post-mortem care knows that anything that happens out of the ordinary, the rest of your shift is just going to set you off. And that's where we really have to be there to support each other. You know, check it if it happens early in the shift, check on that person and, make sure that they're doing okay. Is there anything I can help you with? Do you need a minute to kind of collect yourself and then come back? Another thing that we're kind of responsible for doing is supporting those family members as well. Don't avoid them if they're coming in and you see that they're very upset, if they're really close with their mom or dad, grandpa, grandma, kind of step up to them and say, hey, I really enjoyed taking care of her or him. These are the memories that I have. I know you have a lot of memories too. One of the things that you need to avoid is trying to put any of your situations above theirs, if you kind of understand what I'm talking about. So don't try to like counteract to what they're feeling. So if they're crying, that sort of thing. Oh, I know exactly how you feel. My dog died 2 months ago. That is not even in comparison to losing a parent or a grandparent. But just make them understand that's one of the essential needs of a person is to that sense of acceptance and understanding. So just kind of explain, I understand what you're going through. I'm right here with you. If you need anything, do you need a hug? Just be there to support them and kind of feel out the situation and, let them know that even though their parent isn't there anymore, you are there for them. I thank you guys all for joining me. I hope these tips really help you out in future endeavors, and I will see you right back here on Monday for Katie in the Morning.